hope you're all well. So today I thought I would talk about how to drive traffic to your Etsy shop without using any ads. So I've been selling on Etsy for about 3 years now, and I actually found out the other day that I'm apparently in the top 1% of Etsy sellers, which I had no idea, but I'm so pleased about and over the moon and can't really believe. Well, I can. I've put like a lot of hard work into getting my shop where it is, but compared to other shops that I see, like I don't really do a lot of social media stuff. I actually didn't even try running ads until this year, I think, and even then I've had them off and on. I haven't really enjoyed the experience of using them that much, so they're off at the moment, and actually I don't really need them at the minute, so I'm very lucky in that sense too. So I thought I would just talk you through kind of the process of how I get customers to my shop and what has worked the best for me over the past few years. So the first thing I think about before I even add a listing is, will a customer want to buy this product? So I'm quite lucky that now I've got a much better understanding of kind of what my customer wants and what's popular, and I know where to look. Obviously at the beginning it was a lot harder, and sometimes I would put things up and just kind of see if they sold or not and then kind of figure it out from there. And still now actually I add the odd thing that I think people are really going to like and not that many people buy it. But with a lot of things I've added them because my customers have requested them. So if I've got one thing and they've said, oh, could you also do me a custom listing and do this as well? And if I get more than one person asking for that, then I'll think, oh well, I better add that as its own separate listing, and then hopefully other people will see that and buy as well. So yeah, I think it's really important to think before you make anything, list anything, does my customer that I've got in mind actually really want to buy this? And so once you've figured out something that you know your customers will want to buy, the next thing is figuring out what they will be searching for when they're looking for it. So sometimes it's really specific and it's going to be really easy to find out what your customer wants. If it's like gift for 1-year-old girl, for example, but sometimes it's a little bit more niche and unusual, in which case you might have to do a little bit of outside research into like a keyword planner, or go on eRank to see what people have been looking for, or even just typing on Google for your item, seeing what comes up. That can sometimes help. You just need to find some keywords that you can include in your listing. That means you've got a better chance of showing up in search results, because unless you're doing all of the work marketing your products and getting people to Etsy to buy stuff, which it's not worth your time to do that when Etsy has such a massive audience. You want them to be seeing your product when they search for this specific thing. The only way to do that really is to get those keywords in your listing. I do have another video how to add a new Etsy listing, which I'll link if you want to check that out as well. I go into a little bit more detail of where I add keywords, how I set up a listing, stuff like that. On that vein as well, you also want really clear pictures and really good descriptions, so that when people are scrolling through all the items on Etsy after they've done their search, you want yours to stand out against other people's. And unless it's really clear, obvious what it is, you've got in the title what it is, and when they click through, the description is obvious what they will get, then they might not sell. So that's also a really important thing for getting traffic, is not just showing up in those searches, but making customers want to click on your item. Another thing that will make them want to click is if you've got a good price. I'm not talking about going really cheap and not making any money, because people don't seem to respond to that well on Etsy anyway. They don't want the cheapest thing. They also don't want the most expensive thing either though, obviously. If your item is so much more expensive than another one which is similar, they're probably going to go for that one. It's about getting the balance. You don't want to underprice yourself, overprice yourself. It does take a little bit of kind of figuring out, and there are Etsy calculators out there that you can use to help you figure out a price, but then also look at competition, stuff like that, and think about how long it takes for you to make items, how much you're buying your vinyl for, all those kind of things while you're setting up your cost. So once you've shown up in a search, you've got a clear picture, clear description, a good price, and someone has decided to buy your item, the best way to get more traffic is to get a good review of them. There's a few different ways to do this. You can send an instant message once your item has been bought to kind of remind them to give you a review. You can message them when the item has been sent, which is what I tend to do, and I give them instructions on how to apply their decal, and also give them kind of a little nudge just to say, if you like the item, please do leave me a review. But then you can also add something in your package to kindly ask them once it arrives if they wouldn't mind leaving a review, and that's also a good way to do it. Etsy does send an email as well after a certain amount of time to remind the customer to leave a review, but I wouldn't count on just those to get you reviews. I'd also ask the customer personally if they're happy with the product to leave a review. It also gives you a chance to check in with the customer, make sure everything's okay, and you could maybe give them a code with money off a future purchase to try and get them to rebuy off you. There's loads of ways you can do it anyway, but what you really want to do is try and foster a good relationship with your customers so that they will give you good reviews. The more reviews you've got, the better your shop looks, and the more likely new customers are going to click through and have a look at it. In the same sort of vein, recommendations are also a really good way to get new traffic. If you say to a customer, I'll give you 15-20% off if you refer a friend and they buy from me, something like that, some kind of code you can give them or incentive to pass your details along to a friend, then even if you have to take money off, it's still a customer that you wouldn't have otherwise had probably. And you can keep doing this and growing your traffic, and it's a much easier organic way of doing it than having to pay for ads, because if they've had a recommendation from a friend, they're more likely to buy from you than if someone sees your ad somewhere out in the internet wilderness, clicks on you, they don't know you from Adam, they haven't had any personal experiences with anyone who's bought something from you. So it is more likely to result in a sale. But that's for you to kind of figure out how you want to market your business and which kind of things will work best for you. And then when you've went through all those steps, you haven't even left Etsy yet, and those are loads of ways you can get more people to your shop. Once you've done all those, then think about social media. This isn't really my speciality because, to be honest, I'm lucky enough to get enough views and customers just from Etsy and referrals and recommendations and stuff like that, that thankfully I don't have to spend a lot of time on social media, which is good because it's not my favourite place to be. But I do a few things. So number one, the first thing I've done from the start and has helped me, I do get a bit of traffic from, is Pinterest, which is great for my audience because I do like wedding and event stuff, and there's a ton of wedding things on Pinterest. So it might not work as well for your niche, but I'd be surprised. There is literally anything you can think of is often found in a certain place on Pinterest. It's not really social media technically, it's more of a search engine, but people always lump it under that category anyway, so I'm gonna put it in there too. So what I do with Pinterest, rather than just pinning straight from my Etsy shop, I use Canva to make a long pin. They have templates in there. Just go to canva.com, click on a Pinterest template, add your own photos in there, add your own text in there, make it look nice. You can do it for free. Download the pin, upload it to Pinterest, make sure it links to your Etsy shop, and then write a good description. Remember those keywords from before, add in quite a few of those, but also make it readable and not just like a computer's done it. And then add it to Pinterest. You also do need to repin a lot of other people's pins and follow people and do all that kind of thing, but it's a really good place to get inspiration, so you should probably be doing that anyway in your chosen niche to get ideas and to stay on top of what's current. So it's something you can kind of build into your business practice anyway, so I don't think it doesn't take a ton of time. Yeah, it does bring in some good traffic despite not having to do that much with it. So the next one is Facebook. Obviously loads of people have different ways of using Facebook to promote their business. I don't think that the kind of buy my stuff approach works at all. I've got a Facebook group and there's a lot of sellers in there who are always like, I've got this for sale, and I've tried it myself, to be honest, and I don't get a ton of sales whenever I do that. I actually think it's better to start a page, add your stuff, what you've been making, a little bit of behind the scenes stories, customer reviews, bits and pieces like that. Get friends and family to share it and like it, build an audience from there, and then link back to your Etsy shop. And you can add a shop in Facebook with all your items so that when people click on it, it takes them to Etsy. Again, I don't do a ton with it, so it's not my area of expertise, but it's just a good place to showcase your work and find new audiences, stuff like that. It's also good to join Facebook groups that are within your niche. And again, rather than being like sell, unless they've got unless they do a day like a Friday deal day or something like that where you can add a link to your shop, that's sometimes quite helpful. But I actually think it's better to just show up and be helpful and be known, get to know people in the group, and then if they click on your personal profile, you can link back to your business page there where they can see it, and then they can go at your page and find your products from there. I've just personally found that a better way to do it than to just use it as like a big advertising board, because I think people just switch off. They see that many ads all day, every day, that it takes a lot for one to stand out. Similar sort of thing with Instagram. I think Instagram is a place to share your behind the scenes, a bit about you, what you've been working on lately, that kind of thing, and build up an audience base who are interested in you as a person, rather than, again, just trying to like shove things down people's faces. Also meet some like really lovely people within your niche, like work with other businesses. I found like a few like wedding suppliers and stuff who use my decals through Instagram, but it's not from trying to sell my products, it's just from having conversations and getting to know people. That's how I found it has helped my business anyway. It might be different depending on what niche you're in. It's one of those things you've just got to kind of try, but I still don't think that like trying to push sales down people's neck is the right approach on those type of social medias. I think it's the same with TikTok. I think it's better to take videos of your processes and what you've been doing, like a day in the life of how you work, stuff like that is a lot better than just trying to sell products. And then obviously there's loads of others. There might be ones that work a lot better depending on what your niche is and who you sell to. I think when it comes to social media, the best thing is to just kind of hang out where your customer base hangs out, and that's the best way to kind of get to know people, get to know what they want to buy, get to know what's trending, all that sort of stuff. So it was a super quick rundown of what I think gets you traffic on Etsy. Obviously there's a lot more to it. It's very hard work. It's not an overnight thing. It takes a little bit of time to build stuff up, but hopefully some of those tips have helped you. I'm going to be doing more videos like this on Etsy and vinyl decal selling, so please subscribe, like and follow for more. If you want even more tips, please sign up to my newsletter and join my Facebook group. I will link those in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.